I've been wondering if other people experience this. It's kind of related to alexithymia, or that may be included in that. I haven't researched that as much as I'd like yet. Um, I get signals confused, like when when my body has a need. I will feel an emotion instead of like whatever physical sensation that should tell me whatever I need, whatever it is. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling just very ragey at work, and for no apparent reason, and I just couldn't figure it out. No, usually if I feel angry, it's because someone has made me angry. Um, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I was just like, okay, maybe I should go for a walk. So I went for a walk and thought, okay, well, that just kind of put it off for a little while. But by the time I got home that day, I was just a little rage monster. And I thought, okay, I'm going to run. So I hadn't run in a few days. And so I got on the treadmill and I ran 3.1 miles, 5K, and drank a Gatorade. And by the time I got done running, I felt so much better. And then I showered and I felt completely reset, like completely. And I thought, I wonder how many people are just walking around all angry and ragey when all they need is a run and a Gatorade. um, but it was like my body and brain were just totally confused or something. And I do this masochistic running, as what I call it, when I feel like angry or feel any kind of really strong emotion, and it seems like I run hard and fast during just those times, and it seems like the exertion just makes everything better, and I don't know what that's all about. But and I run on a treadmill inside my house because I'm very clumsy, and it offers, level surface, the little clip that pulls out if I happen to fall, and, no witnesses in a temperature controlled environment. So, all of those conditions that have to be met in order for me to run, I can, meet those conditions inside my house. So it's just weird, though, that I, felt rage for absolutely no reason. And it apparently was just because I needed exercise and electrolytes. But I've also noticed that sometimes I'll feel really anxious, like kind of jittery, shaky, and anxious feeling. And then I will just eat something and I feel better. And I think that, like, the jittery, anxious feeling may be from low blood sugar. And sometimes, I'll feel sad and just need like a good night's sleep. And I'm not saying all of the negative emotions can be solved by just a little self-care. But it's really strange how, like, when my body is in need of something like food or sleep or exercise, I don't get like a physical feeling that just tells me, oh yeah, I need that thing. Like whenever I was anxious and it turned out I was just hungry, like I didn't have that feeling in my stomach telling me that I was hungry. But I definitely needed some sort of, you know, healthy snack to level out my blood sugar or something. Um, but it's just weird. Um, it's just, and then I'll have something happen that's kind of an important event or something that should cause an emotional reaction, and I might not feel emotions about the thing for, you know, a few days up to a really long delay, like months. Sometimes it just takes a really long time for things to hit me. Um, I had some really bad depression last year, and I thought, I don't know how else to describe it except I feel like nothing has happened, but I feel like my dog just died. And I had had a a dog that had just come up missing. But he was over 17 years old, and he just kind of disappeared. And I live in the woods, and his age and you know, just taking all those factors into consideration, it's most likely that he, you know, sometimes dogs kind of go off into the woods to die when they are very old. And you know, I looked for him and looked for him, and, you know, days I was out like scouring the woods looking for him, and I couldn't find him. And so I never had a way to really like let go, I guess. There was no real closure there. And so all of that grief and everything was just kind of put on hold. And apparently it decided to really catch up with me like over a year later. It was maybe even 2 years. Like, I grieved the loss of my dog. Like, I had acknowledged the loss and I cried, but the real depression and grief, I guess, didn't hit me until so much later. And then it was like I had been kind of putting off, like holding back emotions from a lot of things, because I had a trip that my best friend and I had been planning for a long time. And it was kind of like my dream trip. And so I thought, I'm going to just try to not address these things until after I get back from Norway, because I don't want to be a mess while I'm there. I was still kind of a mess, but that was for different reasons. I apparently, at this age, don't need to be getting my sleep schedule totally messed up and be on a ship full of strangers. common sense, you might say, but I was undiagnosed at that time. So, yeah, after I got back from that, though, I had a whole lot of things that I hadn't addressed, that the emotions hadn't really hit me yet. And I don't know um, if that is technically alexithymia or if that is just suppression. But whatever it is, now it's something that's uh, just something that happens. And I hadn't really thought about it too much before that to note, like, make note of whether it had happened to me over my whole life. But I would say that it's a pretty good chance, just because I do tend to feel things on a delay. Like, that's why I like to have a few days to process big emotional conversations. Because even if I do cry, if I'm having a big emotional conversation, all of the feelings won't be processed. I think that it takes me at least 2 weeks to fully to get a really good full understanding of the conversation alone, and that, the feelings only really happen after I have a good understanding of the conversation, and after I have scoured every detail of it. But it's just really weird how those thoughts and feelings don't show up after emotional things happen. But I have something physically wrong with me, and I have emotions telling me that I need to take care of something physically wrong with my body. Now, if I had pain, physical pain, telling me that I had something emotionally wrong, actually, maybe I need to pay attention to that. I may be onto something, because I do tend to have migraines a lot when there is some sort of big emotional thing going down. So really, actually, I really need to start paying attention to that. Maybe my wires are just totally crossed. Maybe I feel emotions about physical ailments, and I feel physical pain for emotional ailments. Does anybody else experience that? Please let me know if you do. And I will probably be letting my therapist know next time I'm in there, or my doctor, whichever medical doctor, whichever I see first. So that's just a really weird thing that happens with me. And also, I never know when I want something, and I don't know if that's tied in with it, but I never just really want things. Like, my partner will be like, "What do you want to eat?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't care. You pick." Or, "Where do you want to go to eat?" "I don't know. I don't care. You pick." Most places have at least one thing on the menu that I can eat. But, if there's French fries at most places, he's going to pick. So, but, I hardly ever just know what I want. The rare occasion that I really have a craving, it's like, Taco Bell, Crunchwrap Supreme, gotta have it. those kinds of weird, random happenings. But most of the time, 99% of the time, I don't have a clue. If you ask me what I want to do, like what movie I want to watch, I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. You pick. And I just really don't feel strongly about anything like that. And if it's not, eating one of my comfort foods like pizza or quesadillas, watching anime, playing video games, reading, painting, doing jigsaw puzzles, if it's not those, sitting outside watching the birds, enjoying my view, if it's not one of those things, then I have no idea. But you could put those things on rotation forever and I'd pretty much be happy. But if it's outside of that, it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. And there are some things that I am strongly opposed to, but as long as it's within my comfort zone, I really don't care. And sometimes I wish I had a strong opinion about where to go to eat and where, what movie to watch or where I want to go. If he wants to go out and do something, and I know he wants me to have an opinion too because he's told me that. But I don't have an opinion. So if I tell him that I want to do something, I'm not really being honest because I don't know is the honest answer. I don't care is the honest answer. So, I might get somewhere and be like, oh, I didn't know where I wanted to go, but it's definitely not here. It's happened once or twice, but most of the time, I don't even have a strong feeling about it once I get there. I'm just like along for the ride, essentially, and just no strong feelings. I guess I just reserve my really strong feelings and opinions for important things. Like, I don't know. I really don't think I do that, but they just have weird ways of showing up unexpectedly. But that's just a weird thing that I've observed, and I'm curious if anybody else out there has experienced anything like that. So let me know. Thanks.